Hello, fellow teacher. Did you know that in your classroom, you have students with different learning styles and preferences? To ensure learning happens at the same pace for all, you are encouraged to apply Universal Design for Learning, UDL. UDL is a teaching approach designed to optimize learning by using flexible methods, materials, and assessments to accommodate different learning needs for all students in the classroom. UDL is mediated in 3 principles, namely multiple means of representation, multiple means of engagement, and multiple means of action and expression. Multiple means of representation. To apply this principle, you are expected to create an inclusive and engaging learning environment by using diverse instructional methods, including visual, auditory, text-based materials, assessive technologies, hands-on activities, peer discussions, flexible access, and quick assessments. Multiple means of engagement. To apply this principle, you are expected to recognize and accommodate individual differences to enhance students' engagement and motivation. Multiple means of action and expression. To apply this principle, you are expected to offer diverse assessment methods, encouraging verbal and written expression, incorporating hands-on activities, and using technology to allow students to demonstrate understanding in various ways. Teacher, you are requested to incorporate or apply these 3 principles into lesson planning and curriculum delivery in your classroom. Learner's readiness.
Learner's readiness, this is an entry point for the learners or students to be prepared for learning. And in the learner's readiness, we can apply one of the 3 principles of UDL. That is multiple means of engagement. In learner's engagement, we are going to apply different ways of engaging learners. For example, a teacher can use a song, a teacher can play a video, a teacher can tell a story, and so on.
Introduction.
After learner's readiness, in UDL, we have introduction. In introduction, a teacher can apply multiple means of engagement by creating safe and supportive learning environment, which is going to motivate these learners or students to learn.
In introduction, learners enter the lesson with the support of the teacher through demonstration, storytelling, role plays, video plays, chat display, and many more.
Here I have objects. This is a small jug, okay? And then this is a cup. This is a plate. This is a bracelet, okay? And then we have also the picture of a cup. Okay, we have also another circular object. We have also a bucket. Okay, all these objects here are presented to you they have one in common. What is it? Yes, a circle. So they have circular ends, okay? Either at the top or at the bottom. Okay, they are circular. They are what? Circular. They are circular. Okay. What do you think is our lesson of today? What do you think is our lesson of today? Yes? Calculating the volume of a circle. Another one? Yes?
Cubes and cuboids.
Okay, this is the unit, but a unit has multiple lessons, okay? And then our lesson of today is to find the number pi. To find? The number pi. To find a number pi. Okay. Our lesson objective of today is finding pi.
Lesson development.
In the lesson development, this is where the real teaching and the real learning is taking place. In the real teaching and real learning, a teacher uses the two principles of UDL. These are multiple means of representation. Here, a teacher uses multiple means of representation. Maybe, for example, he can use a video to represent a content, can use a story, can use diagrams or images to represent a content. Because remember, behind all this, we are having an inclusive classroom.
First, follow the video, and then I will tell you what to do next.
Hi, and welcome to today's lesson, Circles, Finding Pi. We're going to be looking at the relationship between a couple parts of our circle. First, I'm going to represent my circumference, which is around my circle, with this pink line. I'm going to then go ahead and take the pink line as if it was a piece of string and lay it flat after I have wrapped it around the distance of my circle. This going around the circle is known as the circumference. The next part of the circle I'll be looking at is going from end to end on the widest part of the circle, which means I'll be going through the center. And this is called our diameter. So let's get started. Today we're investigating pi, and pi is a relationship. So our relationship is going to be between circumference and diameter. So if I go ahead and write 22 over 7, that is my circumference to my diameter. 22/7 is an approximation for pi. If I divide those two numbers, I get about 3.14. I'm going to be using this symbol to show approximately. Now, does this work for every circle? That is what you're going to be investigating today.
So, to be measuring the circumference, the distance around this circular top of a cup, using this thread like this, and then we measure using either a ruler like this and record the results. That is the circumference in centimeters, right? And we record somewhere. And now we'll be having the circumference in centimeters and diameter in centimeters, right? And then when we divide the circumference of a circle to its diameter, we get a constant. Then that constant is known as pi. Is known as pi. So our objective is to find pi. And remember, pi is a constant, okay? That is a result of circumference dividing the diameter of a circle. So if you have followed carefully, I'm going to distribute these materials, okay, to you. So you have to form groups.
In lesson development, we have another principle, UDL principle, which is multiple means of engagement. And this is where a teacher uses different styles, because we are having learners with different learning styles. For example, a teacher puts the students in groups and provides them with activities where these learners inclusively, they are going to be using multiple means of engagement. For example, one group can use hands-on activities or experiment. Another group can have playing video. Another group can have presenting images or charts. But all these focus on the same content. Why? We are having different students with different learning styles. Therefore, we need to apply different ways of engaging them so that the learning takes place at the same pace and the students are motivated in the learning.
During lesson development, you should promote collaboration, encourage creative expression through diverse communication methods, allow self-pacing, offer students a choice on how they respond, and use flexible tools and resources, both digital and printed, to accommodate different learning styles.
So this group 2, come and present what you have measured. Circumference, diameter, and then you have to divide circumference divided by diameter to get that constant. So the answer is 3 point. Okay, flowers to her. So we have proved that any circle of any size, when you measure its circumference, okay, and measure its diameter, when you divide circumference by its diameter, you get a constant that is known as pi, okay? So that constant is equivalent to 3.1 and other decimals, okay? So pi is approximately 3.14. The number is irrational, okay? Yeah, these digits continue, okay? And then the pi, to get pi, you divide circumference by its diameter.
The importance of applying multiple means of representation and multiple means of engagement during lesson development is to help the teacher and the students themselves inclusively to learn perfectly at their learning pace.
Assessment and conclusion.
After lesson development, we are now going to look at assessment. In assessment, students have already done their activities, and now the teacher needs to know how they have done the activities. What is their ideas? What is their findings? Students are going to use multiple means of action and expression, whereby a student can decide to use either by telling a story, by having an experiment being conducted, by presenting the real image of what he has learned. The student can also use a video or a project to express his or her ideas. from the learning process.
I'm going to give you a question. A what? A question. And then you do it in your groups. Okay? So I'll give you the circumference and the diameter, and I will ask you to find pi. So you follow. The circumference of a certain roundabout in Kigali is 94.2 meters. If the roundabout has a diameter of 30 meters, find the pi. Find the pi.
During the assessment, teachers are expected to differentiate assessment difficulty. Use different assessment formats such as quizzes, projects, presentations. Then offer learners different options to demonstrate learning and incorporate real-world relevance and interactive assessments such as games or simulations to help maintain students' interest.
Okay, let us please answer, please. Yes, come. Okay. So you got? Is it correct? Yes. 31.4. It means when we get 31.4 times 30, we get 24.2. So it is 3.14. That point, okay? Yeah, that point should be between 3 and 1. 3 and 1. We are approaching the end of our lesson. So discovering the concept of pi. So you need to measure the circumference of any circular object, okay? And also you measure its diameter. When you divide the circumference to the diameter, you get the constant known as pi, and that pi is approximately 3.14. Let me give you a homework, okay? Number one is saying that the circumference of a circular coin is 20 centimeters. When you measure, the distance around a coin is 20 centimeters. If it has a radius of 3.2 radius, okay? And then find pi. So you have to calculate pi. The second question is a practical activity. You have to measure any circular base, the circular base of any cup or any basin at home. Do you have cups at home? Yes. And basins? Yes. So you have to measure the base of one of it, either a cup or a basin. You measure its top or bottom, as long as it is in the form of a circle. Okay? Then after getting that circumference, you measure its diameter. Okay? And then after measuring the diameter, you divide the circumference to that diameter, and you get the constant pi. You get the constant pi. Okay. Thank you for your attention. See you in the next lesson.